I think that everyone that hasn't left New Zealand will probably be quite happy. We had the most glorious day yesterday, and it's going to be a glorious weekend. There's a little bit of cloud over in the east, but otherwise clear. Yesterday it got to 18 degrees here, just blue sky and sunshine inside with all the windows. It was up to 24. So glorious. I'd rather be here than underneath all of that cloud and muck. Although I'd have to say that it is improving, diminishing, if you could call it. Although there is, as you report, that rather big burst sort of heading towards the western side of Fiji. Doesn't look very good. That's the centre of the low, I guess. And the best part to be is lately has been up in Samoa. We've got about 3 boats that said they were in Samoa, as you reported, and up there has been fine. And today it looks pretty good actually in the northern island of Fiji, but and it is improving in Tonga. It's pretty improving in New Caledonia too, and the northern part of Vanuatu. But yep, it's, I think in terms of clear skies, New Zealand is the place to be. Good morning, everybody. This is Patricia and David, and this is Gulf Harbour Radio, where we have our casual Saturday, because it's sort of, it's just good to hear a bit more from you guys in the islands, rather than just sit here yapping about things. It does look as if the wind is moderating, although the folk on wavelength probably wishing it would moderate a little bit more or change a little bit in direction. They're the folk hand steering because of no autopilot, and they are getting closer though. They're up at 1838, 179.39 east, and outside it's 18 east northeast, 20% cloud cover and 1.5 metre seas. But I'm sure they are starting to smell the barn, so they'll be quite happy about that. But yes, you would have heard me talking to Diego. We just had an absolutely magnificent day yesterday, and we will have another day today here that's pretty much the same. Just beautiful blue skies. Although when we were down at the boat yesterday, and there were a lot of gaps. The marina down at Gulf Harbour is full up for the winter, but there are quite a few gaps yesterday. Obviously people are away for the weekend. It is going to be a glorious day, particularly for a powerboat. You wouldn't be sailing anywhere because there's 1 knot of wind at the moment from the southeast. I don't think there's hardly anything out there. We've got a high, 1027.9 and rising, 12 degrees. So yes, the winter woolies will be on. But just glorious blue skies. And the reason I'm raving is that we did get very sick of the rain that we had for quite some time. So I'll just see if there's anybody wanting to say hello. I know we have, I'd be interested in hearing a bit of a report from Suva to see what happened with the meetings yesterday for the boats that got damaged. Just a really tough way to start a season up there, and we still have a couple of boats at sea. We have Tuaki and KTM2 still going, and there should be there's another couple of boats. Just to report for those boats that are heading down from the north to Palanga, Alcyon kindly reported in this morning. Down there they have got easterly 12, gusting to 20 in the squalls with 90% cloud cover. So I suppose it's pretty good really if you're coming down from the north. So the wind's in the right direction. It just won't be very good visibility. So do take care there. All right. Let's have a look. I'll just pause to see if anybody wants to report in with any information or a position. Well, there is somebody there, and it didn't sound like Tuaki. Could you come again? It sounds like, well, it's different. Try again. Oh, it's Margarita. Sorry, I missed the first part. I got the Rita bit. Good morning. Go ahead. Well, you're not very clear. I know you're 4 hours out of somewhere. Try again. Oh, you're 4 hours south of Tongatapu. Thank you for that. I'm just looking to see who might have reported from Tongatapu. Yes, Obsession said that it was a good day in Tonga yesterday, and they haven't reported any weather today, so that's not too useful, Lester and Lisa. Well, the wind has slowly died. What are your conditions at the moment? Over. Well, we've got a relay, and somebody said Atutaki, so I'm way out of position here. Margarita were in, well, they did go to Rarotonga. Now they're going to Atutaki by the sound of it. Trevor, if you would relay, please, over. Alrighty, we've got Margarita south of Atutaki. Yeah, they're going to some interesting places. We haven't had people go into many of the Cook Islands because they're not all that, well, the ones in the south anyway aren't all that useful for deep keel boats, but Margarita is managing it. So Atutaki. Margarita, if you wouldn't mind just giving me conditions over there. I don't think they're very wonderful, but if you could give conditions, please, and Trevor will relay. Oh, clear skies. Thank you for that. East-northeast. Well, Bruce, you came up clear on that one. So 8 knots east-northeast and clear skies. Okay, I can take a position now. Go ahead. Okay, just give me, I think you said 15942 west. That doesn't sound right to me. Give me the longitude again. Okay, I did get it right. It's not where I thought it was. All right, well, enjoy Atutaki there. Our neighbours across the road here are actually going to Rarotonga tomorrow. Well, no, today. It's Saturday. So hopefully the weather will stay clear and that light 8 knots from the east-northeast. All right, we'll shove you in the system. Clear with Margarita. Was there anybody else? Oh, good morning, Graham. We're about to, I don't presume Rivolo is up there somewhere now, over. Oh, good show. So the family are all together again. 3 generations of Browns up there in Vavau. And, well, it looks a little bit better weather now, over. Light nor'easterly up there in Vavau, so that's not too bad for the start of the weekend. Thank you for that, and yep, I'm sure all the family are settling in. Okay, and you've got your part, more, and is it all installed, over? Alrighty. All right, well, I tell you what, Robert will be able to think about mowing lawns probably tomorrow because we've had, well, this is our second day of dry weather, absolutely incredible for Auckland, and it's going to be dry tomorrow, so should be not too bad. All right, There's just a message that's come in from Heatwave up there at Nuku'alofa. Harbour fees are $4.90 a tonne. Here they go. This is sort of what it's like in some parts of the Caribbean. $4.90 a tonne, and a lot of the European boats had false paperwork to make them much smaller than they were, I might add. Boats that choose to anchor outside the harbour to clear customs are charged an extra $100 for health clearance. Well, this is interesting, but I guess we have to put up with some of these things that are coming. Greed, says David. All right. Haven't heard from Tuaki yet. Tuaki, you out there, Tony? No, there's still a bit of noise on the band, and I was hoping for a clearer band on Saturdays, but I'll have to have a bit of an investigation. Actually, one side of my receiving antenna, which is a sort of a strange dipole, is a bit sloppy, so I'm going to have to sort that one out this weekend in the good weather. All right, clear skies in Whangarei. Good morning to you folk up there. It's a big weekend in Auckland, actually, so I should actually say bonjour to everybody, because we have the All Blacks versus France first test tonight at Eden Park. They're calling it the Barrett Boys test because it's a record. There are 3 brothers in the New Zealand team, 3 Barrett boys, Geordie, Bowden and Scott. So it's going to be an interesting first match tonight. The French have got quite a new team from last time they played, and there's been a lot of injuries in the New Zealand side, which has opened up a lot of opportunities for other people. So that's on tonight, and the weather will be chilly but perfect, so there'll be no excuses there. The other news from the world, there's not much news today really, but Mr. Trump is really, he's a great one to have a bit of news. I'm sure the newspapers love him. But he's at the G7 nations meeting up in Canada at the moment, where he's absolutely having a ding-dong war with Prime Minister Macron from France and President Trudeau from Canada because of the tariffs that he's put on to try and equalize trading conditions between the USA and the rest of the world. So big battle with them, and to add salt to the wound, he's decided that Russia should be reinstalled in the G7 nations. So he's not exactly, Mr. Giuliani is trying to rein him in, but he's not having much luck. He's really antagonizing the rest of the world, which is what he said he would do when he got in anyway. So I suppose there's no surprises there. Update on the volcanoes around the world. Guatemala just continuing to be pretty grim, 109 deaths, but there's over 200 missing. And in Kilauea, in Hawaii, that the lava pouring into the sea has gone out 1.5 kilometres. So I guess there'll be new housing estates sometime in the next millennium. But at the moment, it's destroyed over 100 homes in 2 housing estates there on the big island. So, getting back to the Trump meeting, well, the other thing, of course, that happens next week on Tuesday is that he meets what do they call him? Junan. Yes, well, anyway, whatever he is, Kim Jong-un from North Korea. But there's a big restaurant in Singapore in honor of the big meeting has come up with a new dish, which if you look at the picture, it's called the Trump Kimchi Nasi Lemak, and it looks like a mixture of ground beef, kimchi, ground beef of course from America, kimchi, fried egg and cucumber. That's about as much as I could gather from the picture, but probably Mr. Trump might pass on that one, but anyway, that's the new dish in Singapore. Okay, I'll just see if there's anybody else wanting. This is a very casual day, folks. We really like to hear from you today. So is there anybody wanting to say hello, radio check or whatever, please call. Oh, there were so many, I couldn't pick up anybody. Try again, one at a time. Let's try ladies first. Ladies first. Oh, well, gracious lady. That's a good one. Gracious lady. It wasn't a lady talking, but gracious lady. Are you still in Port Vila or have you moved north? Over?
We moved north. We're leaving Havana Harbour. I might not be a lady, but I have a girl's name.
Yeah, that was a bit of a puzzle for me. Yeah, I was surprised you only stayed a day in Havana Harbour. It's one of our favourite spots. There's a couple of beautiful snorkeling spots there and some very nice soft corals. Alrighty, so you're on your way probably to Epi, are you? Alright, gracious lady, from Havana to Epi today. And it doesn't look too bad up there, so should be a reasonable trip. But what's the wind at the moment?
We probably
Alrighty, thank you for that. And yeah, I was just thinking who else is up that way. Oh, another adventure is up in the Mestlins at the moment, so I don't think they have reported in this morning, so otherwise I would tell you what it's like further north. But we'll just have to wait to see. Oh yes, they have reported in. Well, up there at Port Sandwich, so he's now on Malakula, southeast nothing. So you might have to use a bit of fuel today. Southeast nothing, 10% cloud cover, and 1013. But that's in Port Sandwich, which is very, very protected. So with a bit of luck, you might have a little bit more. So we'll see what David's got to say because I think they want to move north too. All right, gracious lady, clear with you. Who else was there? Oh, good. Sahula, I'd be interested to hear what happened yesterday. Sahula, go ahead, David. Trevor, I've got nothing here. Sahula, I hope I'm not doubling, but I've got nothing from you. Just check that you are on high power. Maybe something has happened with the radio. Trevor, can you hear them?
Yeah, I can hear them.
Wow, that's weird.
But I mean, relaying moving to Marina, the main damage was to the woodwork, and you'll be in there getting everything at least for the next 10 days. I might be reporting in as that.
I'm going to pass the microphone to Nick.
Yeah, because like is everybody back afloat? Okay, yeah, well that's good news. Did you got any of that, Patricia?
Absolutely nothing, which is rather strange because he came through very well yesterday. I was interested to know whether they recovered chain and anchor, and there was another boat that lost chain and anchor. Could you inquire about that, Trevor?
Yeah, no, all the boats are back afloat, all the anchors have been recovered, and I went out yesterday and did a pretty fantastic job of them able to find all those anchors in the previous floods, and so they are just having a meeting, I think, today with the other boats that suffered damage from that boat, and I guess waiting around for an outcome for all of that.
Oh, thank you for that. All right. So that's good news in a way. Everything's recovered, and they're in the Sahula are in the marina, I presume, and Miss Murphy and everybody else is recuperating, I guess. All right. Thanks for the relay. It's very strange. Mind you, Suva can be a bit like that, either one thing or the other. And I see KTM2 has arrived in Savu Savu, so that's good. And all right, I'm going to just pass the mic. Well, hang on a minute. I will just see if Tuaki are there. And Trevor, if you could have a listen, because I'd like to know where they are. Tuaki, Gulf Harbour. Yep, nothing heard. All right, I'm going to pass the microphone to see what the boss here has got to say about the weather. But if you have any questions, being a Saturday, you're the ones that need to ask.
Yeah, good morning. And as Patricia said, today is just a quickie look at the weather, and we'll rely on you to come back to us for any questions that you've got. So briefly, our high is directly over New Zealand, as you could have guessed, based on our beautiful weather we're having. Cold, but beautiful. And it's centered, right over Gulf Harbor Radio. And our barometer, our barometer this morning?
Yes, I did. 1027.9.
27.9, okay. The modeling is calling 1030, so it's right in there. It's a very strong high. Now it's ridging northwest and also northeast, so you've got two little ridges that are poking out either side of this big anticyclone. And the reason the ridges are doing what they're doing is due to the tropical depression that's pushing down on the northern half of the high. Now the depression is just southeast of Venetian, and I'm looking at it right now on satellite imagery. If you were to draw a line between Viti Levu and the bottom part of New Caledonia, and then go from Viti Levu about maybe a quarter of the distance, that's pretty much the center of the depression at the moment. Anyhow, it's causing the isobars of the high to run more or less west-east. You can picture that, I think. These winds then are easterlies from 33 south right up to 22 south, and they're quite fresh, a good 25, 28 knots. Definitely lies between 25 and 30 south. Now by Monday, which is the 11th of June, the depression looks to be near 27 and 175 east. Tuesday, it's going to be just east of Opua, and that's going to be giving southeast winds to that region of New Zealand. So late on Tuesday or maybe early Wednesday, maybe could be a departure date for the few of you that are still left up there. But watch out as the isobars become quite spread out. Winds look to become quite light, mostly westerly quadrant, but almost want to say variable. And that's mainly because all of the energy has gone into that low, and there's just not much left in that lower part of the Southwest Pacific. Now, if anyone's over in Minerva, I don't know, do we have any reports?
No,
Minerva?
nobody's there.
No, nobody in Minerva? Just as well, because you're on the southeast edge, if you were there, southeast edge of the depression. Winds up to 40 knots in this. They should ease late Sunday. Well, there's nobody there, but if you were there, you would not want to make the run to Tongatapu because the headwinds would be a little bit stiff. And that's basically what I've got. Just being a short day here, and I'm going to rely on you to come up with any questions. Trough-wise, we have the depression. The trough is running from that depression just along the eastern side of all of Vanuatu, really. There's still some remaining cloud left to the north and over the banks, and that continues on to the Louisiades, and we've got some thunderstorm activity over just south of the Santa Cruz Islands. That trough runs all the way toward Raoul Island. So there's quite a bit of cloud and squally conditions right along that bit. Now over toward the east a little bit, Fiji is right on the edge of the heavy cloud that's part of this depression. It's touching Kindavu, looks like it's touching Musket Cove. This is the tail end of the loop, so it's fairly recent. And also there's sort of a deteriorating trough that's over all of the islands of Fiji, mostly blue sky, but there's organized cloud, and they're all on a direct line, so that tells me that is all part of the trough that was once there. A little bit further east now, toward Tonga, we have cloud from just northwest of Tongatapu going over Tongatapu and then heading off to the southeast. And somewhere around the 25 mark, 25 south, another trough forms, and it runs northwest, and it goes all the way up toward Wallis, and then just to the southwest of Samoa. So yesterday Samoa looked pretty darn good, but right now it does have cloud, and it's got wind that's basically bringing in some moist, very warm air to the trough that I just mentioned. Whether or not that gets up to Samoa, it might very well do. So be ready on that. But it's the tail end of it, and there's not a whole lot in it. Looking at satellite imagery, it is totally broken all the way up to Tuvalu, and actually it goes on to the equator as well. So that's the story there. For the people that are in, hang on 1 minute, I'm going to switch screens. Okay, those of you that are in we'll start with Tonga, and we're getting quite a bit of easterlies there early this morning, but that I think is going to change as the day rolls on. Toward lunchtime, I think you'll find if you're up in Vavau, they're going to back a bit to the east-northeast, maybe northeast. Pretty light, they'll be around 15 knots or less perhaps, and might even lighten more toward dinner time, but still stay in the northeast direction. If you are in the Hapais, we're looking at basically easterlies there. Most of the day easterlies, might see a little bit of east-northeast. That's today, and then tomorrow stays northeast for both areas. And moving over toward the Tonga area, toward the Fiji area, we've got a whole mix of winds. It just really depends on where you are. Now, again, southwest of Musket Cove and Viti Levu, and also Kindavu, we have a lot of wind. We're looking at up to 30 knots. There's gusts of 40, but they're way offshore, so they're not going to be affecting those areas at all. In closer, though, in the Kindavu area, early this morning, looks to me like 20 knots out of the east-northeast, and just west of Muscat and just west of the Osawas, northeast winds, they're probably about 20 knots. But in closer to the Big Island and in the major part of the Coro Sea, lighter air, much lighter air, I would say about 15 knots. And there's still east tending northeast or east-northeast there. That is this morning, and then looking at lunchtime, the wind does start to back. So if you're in, well, say Muscat Cove or the Osawas, they're tending to be more north-northeast and about the same strength. Looking at around dinner time, the Osawas, Muscat Cove, I think northerlies there, northerlies. The Coro Sea, northeast winds, maybe about 15 knots. So the Lao group, fairly light by dinner, east-northeast to northeast, we'll call it 15 knots. Could be a little bit less in some areas, so not too bad at all. And running into Sunday now, quite a bit of change. The winds are now backing even more. So Vanua Levu, the Savu Savu area, Taveuni area, the northern to mid-Lao, all northwest winds, and maybe north-northwest. Very light up around Vanua Levu and Savu Savu. So it's probably going to be very humid, very hot, and not much air moving around. A little bit more air in the southern Lao, and they'll be north to northwest, north-northwest. And if you're in the Kendavu area, the winds could very well be westerly to maybe even west-southwest. And if you're in the Muscat area, same thing, I would say west-southwest in that more or less general direction. In the Osawas, maybe even southerlies. And this is early Sunday morning. Looking at lunch for almost all of Fiji, there's hardly any air, quite light. It's variable. I can't even give you a direction. It could be really from anywhere. I see northwest, I see southwest, I don't see any easterlies. So that's about it for the Fiji area for Sunday around lunchtime. No air at all, and that continues right on through dinner. And then by toward the midnight area, I think we're going to see troughing that rolls in. So it'll be interesting what happens tomorrow night for you folks. So be prepared for that. We've got winds. If you were to look at the Koro Sea, easterlies, east-northeast, and then southeast up around the Osawas. But then just to the west of Viti Levu and Kendavu, I see northwest winds. So they're going to clash, those two airstreams. And right where they clash is where your trough is going to be found. But not much air in it unless you happen to be, again, unlucky in a big cloud. But apart from that, mostly light air. So that's what it looks like. And I guess if you have any questions or comments, come now. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I think there was a very, very light person in the background there. Who was that? Boy, nothing much is coming through to New Zealand today. Could anybody relay if there was somebody? I might be imagining it.
I think they might be speaking Chinese.
Oh, look, I've just got this new program on my iPad. It's an incredible program. If anybody wants to learn a different language, it's called Duolingo, D-U-O-L-I-N-G-O. And they teach it in an amazingly good way. I won't bother going into it because not many people will probably want to do this, but if you want to learn a new language, go to this fantastic app called Duolingo. I'm trying to teach myself a bit of Russian, and I had to download, of course, the Russian new keypad, but that's easy on the iPad too. But it's a very clever way they teach you a different language. But I'm not going to tackle Chinese, so we'll leave those people out of the picture. I'll do one more call for Tuaki, and then I know David wants to rush off because he's heading to the motorsport track today. I have a glorious day to myself. Tuaki, Tuaki, Godfather. No, I definitely heard a Chinese voice then. All right, if there's nobody else, we're off and out of here, and we are not on tomorrow, as you know by now. And if you want anything, the email address is ghradio@extra, which is just xtra.co.nz. And David won't be answering anything today, but he will be answering things tomorrow. Okay, cheers. Monday. Have a lovely weekend. It's going to be glorious in New Zealand, so I hope you manage to make use of your warmer temperatures up there in the islands. Cheers all.